Welcome to the Kitchen Design Partners podcast. I'm Ashley, and today we have a very special guest, Nancy Jacobson. Nancy is the
Hi.
president of Kitchen Design Partners, a highly regarded kitchen and bath design firm based in Northbrook, Illinois. With nearly 2 decades of experience, she has helped homeowners design kitchens that are not only beautiful, but also functional and personalized to their lifestyles. Kitchen remodeling can be exciting, but it can also feel overwhelming sometimes. There are so many decisions to make, from the initial planning stages to choosing the right materials and finishes. Today, Nancy is here to walk us through the process, share expert advice, and help homeowners gain confidence in their remodeling journey. Nancy, welcome to the show. It's great to have you here.
Hi, Ashley. Thank you.
So let's start at the very beginning. Kitchen remodeling is a big project, and for many homeowners, it's hard to know where to even start. There are countless decisions to make, and without a clear plan, it's easy to feel lost in the process. Before jumping into picking out cabinets or appliances, what's the very first step homeowners should take when planning a kitchen remodel?
That's a good question, Ashley. I think the first place homeowners should start with is what are their goals? What are they trying to achieve? What is the vision that they are trying to achieve? We always ask homeowners who come to meet with us to start with their pain points. What about their current space? What about their current kitchen isn't working for them and why? And for homeowners, that's really a very good place to start. In terms of how do they get started, there are a number of ways to get started. We always suggest that homeowners interview kitchen designers and select the kitchen designer that they feel resonates with what they're trying to accomplish. In our case at Kitchen Design Partners, we take a lot of time to get to know the homeowners, their lifestyle, their families, their cooking, their baking, their eating meals together or carrying in catering and entertaining. There are so many activities that take place in today's kitchens. We always call it the heart of the home, but it really is the hub of the home. Kitchens are multifunctional now. So we get into a lot of detail with potential homeowners on all of their needs and requirements. And we have found that for homeowners who we work with, that starting with a kitchen designer and starting with a kitchen design is the best way to begin the project, as opposed to some homeowners who might think they should start with a contractor and think about the construction side of the project first. We really feel that a good amount of time should be devoted to the design itself.
And once homeowners start planning, they often struggle with one big challenge, making sure their kitchen is both visually appealing and highly functional. Some people fall in love with a certain look only to realize later that it might not suit their everyday needs. Others focus heavily on functionality but worry their kitchen won't have the wow factor they're looking for. So, how do you help homeowners achieve that perfect balance between beauty and practicality?
We do that on every project. And as I mentioned, we get to know our homeowners very well. The design process is very detailed. And as I mentioned earlier, we really want homeowners during the design phase to think about and to share with us what is not working for them in their current kitchen. And I mean, really focusing on function. When we start working on a kitchen design, our first draft is all about function. Where are we placing different functions in the kitchen? And how are we spreading out the different functions in the kitchen so that the kitchen serves the needs of that family? And every kitchen we do, we also ask homeowners to bring either images or to share online photos with us so that we can get a sense of their style. And of course, we always look into the style of the home and we talk to them about the style of the home, the architecture, as well as their personal style. So, in the first draft of the kitchen that we do for them, We're really focusing all on the function. And then as we continue to work through the process, we bring in all the decorative elements that personalize the kitchen for their specific vision.
I really love that you're firstly focusing on functionality because at the end of the day, the kitchen isn't just a showpiece, it's the heart of the home, as you said, where people gather, cook, and create memories. So, and also speaking of practicality, one of the biggest frustrations homeowners have is storage. No matter how big or small the space is, it always seems like people wish they had more storage. Whether it's a better pantry setup, more efficient cabinet organization, or hidden solutions to keep countertops clutter-free. So, what are some creative ways homeowners can maximize storage without compromising on the overall look and feel of their kitchen?
Well, there are so many options available with cabinetry today that we utilize for all different kinds of functions and storage and organization in the kitchen. In the kitchen you see behind me, one of the unique things about this kitchen was that the homeowner had a very extensive coffee habit. She drank coffee all day long. She made special coffees like lattes and used flavored syrups in her coffees. And she really had such a passion and love for coffee. And in her old kitchen, all of her coffee items were out on the countertop, not in a mess, but they were taking a lot of room on the countertop. And we created a customized cabinet for her to house all of her coffee items, her coffee makers, all of the syrups, all of her other items. And we tucked it into a cabinet so that when she's done making coffee, she can close the doors and hide it all away. And that's just one example of the almost limitless options we have today with cabinetry for organization and storage and function by utilizing different accessories and different creative solutions that we create for our clients.
Now, once homeowners have figured out their kitchen layout and storage needs, the next big decision is choosing materials. And this can be overwhelming. There are endless options for cabinetry, countertops, and flooring, and all with different price points, durability levels, and design styles. It's
Yes.
easy to fall in love with a certain look, but homeowners also need to think about longevity, maintenance, and how everything ties together. So how do you guide homeowners in selecting the right materials that not only look beautiful, but also fit their lifestyle and budget?
We have a lot of displays in our showroom that we use to educate our clients on the various types of cabinetry, the various types of countertop materials. All of those detail are really best shown by educating clients. So we take the time to do that. There's so much available in every industry today. There's so much technology. There are so many options that we really utilize our showroom to educate our clients on all of those various materials. In most kitchens, we really start with the cabinets. A lot of homeowners in our area have wood floors. It's just a really popular thing here, partially because in Chicago, it gets very cold and tile can be cold if tile is not heated. If you have a tile floor that doesn't have heating below, it can be very cold. So a lot of homeowners in our areas come to us in the beginning and they say, we have wood floors in other areas of our first floor, and we're thinking of extending that flooring into the kitchen. What do you think? And so a lot of times we are starting from that premise that we're using wood floors in the kitchen because they work so well in our climate. But we spend a majority of our time on different cabinet construction and educating our clients on the benefits of different types of cabinets. And then as we get to know them and we have discussions with them, they kind of over time, with our guidance, know what direction to go in. Every kitchen that we do, the clients have goals not only for the vision and the function, but also for the investment that they're going to make in the project. So of course, that's also a big determining factor in terms of what we're going to recommend for a client to meet their goals. When we're talking about countertops, In our area, our clients pretty much do two types of countertops: quartzite, which is natural stone, or quartz, which has quartz particles mixed with man-made materials. And that's usually what clients in our area are doing. And both materials have different benefits, different aesthetic value, and also different investments. And so that is also part of the education we do with our clients on every kitchen.
I think a lot of people underestimate how much thought goes into selecting materials, especially when it comes to durability and how a kitchen is actually used day to day.
Yes.
And this brings me to another topic, misconceptions. Many homeowners come into the remodeling process with certain assumptions, whether it's about cost, timeline, or what's possible in their space. And sometimes these assumptions can lead to unrealistic expectations or even costly mistakes. So, what are some of the biggest misconceptions you've come across when working with homeowners on kitchen remodels?
That's a good question. I guess the first thing is that a lot of people enjoy watching HGTV, and HGTV tends to simplify the process because it's a television show. So they have to get the whole story into 20 minutes or what have you. And so we find that clients have a misconception, number one, about the investment necessary to do a kitchen these days, and also about the time it takes and the complexities. I think some of the shows on TV or online do try to represent when there are things on the job that are challenges that perhaps take more time than what was planned. So you do tend to see that on some of the shows. But overall, it's difficult for clients and homeowners to really understand how much time it takes. One of the things I tell clients right at the beginning is don't put a deadline on the planning part of this project, because your opportunity to make this kitchen as perfect as possible, not only for today, but for the long run, because it is a long-term investment, is really dependent on our design process and on thinking through every step of the design process. I kind of like when homeowners obsess about it a little bit. As you're working in your current kitchen, keep thinking about what don't you like and try to envision what we're designing for you as you're working in your current kitchen, so you can try to understand how it's going to function for you. The planning process, the planning phase is really so important. And I do think that sometimes online, some of the TV shows or even some of the searches on Google tend to simplify the process.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I would like to also ask you about there's families with young kids, multi-generational households, and homeowners who love to host big dinner parties. So, how do you approach designing kitchens that truly fit the lifestyle and unique needs of each homeowner?
That's so important. We do that on every project. Every kitchen we work on is unique. It's unique in that we're dealing with a certain amount of space, and we are really trying to design a very personalized kitchen for every client we work with. Multi-generational families or families who have multiple cooks or multiple people working in the kitchen at the same time have different requirements than kitchens that generally have one cook or one person doing the prepping. Walkways in kitchens, if it's a kitchen with an island, which a lot of our kitchens are, the walkways are really critical, whether this kitchen is going to function for one person or two people or multiple people. So walkways are very critical. The other thing is spreading out different functions. So in the past, people used to think or hear about the kitchen triangle, which was between the refrigerator, the cooktop, and the sink. And while that is still a very important functional area in the kitchen, as kitchens have grown in size, what we really focus on now is different stations that have different functions. So if you have a multi-generational family, or just let's say two people cooking together, you can have different workstations so that everyone can work in the kitchen at the same time and be functional. And we do find in some cases that, well, in a lot of cases, on a day-to-day basis, it might be one or two people using the kitchen, but when they entertain, they may have several people helping them with their preparation, or they may have catering or bringing in certain food items. The needs are completely different on a day-to-day basis and when they entertain. And we always bring that into part of the planning process.
It's great to see that you take such a personalized approach because a kitchen should work for the people living in it and not just look good in pictures. And speaking of unique designs, I'm sure you worked on some incredible transformations. Can you share a real life project that stands out to you? Maybe one where you overcame a big design challenge or helped a homeowner completely reimagine their space.
Yes, I would say the biggest transformations are a lot of people come to us with older homes that have a kitchen with a peninsula. That was a very popular style back in the 1960s and 70s. And often people come to us and say, we want an island. Can you give us an island? And of course, if we're expanding the space, it's a lot easier. But sometimes expanding the space is not an option. And I can think of a few kitchens we've done where they had a peninsula in the past, and that peninsula really became a huge bottleneck in the kitchen. We recently finished a kitchen where the dishwasher location in the peninsula was kind of in the corner of by next to the sink, and it closed off the entire peninsula and cabinet storage near the dishwasher. So what the people had to do was when they were unloading their dishwasher, they had to take everything out, put it on the counter, close the dishwasher, and then put things away in the cabinets in that area. And they just didn't believe that they had room for an island in their kitchen. And we proved to them that they did. And by giving them the island, we not only gave them a wonderful walkway as opposed to the old peninsula that was, they always had to walk around the peninsula. But by doing so, we were able to center their kitchen window, their kitchen sink under their window, which in their old kitchen, the sink was off on the side because we needed room for the sink and the dishwasher. By now, by eliminating the peninsula, we were able to move over the dishwasher, and that little change made such a difference because now we were able to give them a cabinet for waste and recycling, and then the dishwasher, and then the sink centered under the window. And now, when they unloaded the dishwasher, they didn't have to put everything on the countertop, but they were able to put it directly into the cabinets on the island and also nearby. And so little things like that really make a huge difference in people's everyday lives. And this client, they were just absolutely thrilled that they were able to correct some of those functional deficiencies in their old kitchen and end up with a beautiful kitchen with an island.
That sounds like an amazing project. And beyond just the wow factor of a new kitchen, remodeling is also a big financial investment.
Yeah.
Many homeowners want to know, will this remodel really add value to my home? Beyond aesthetics, a well thought out kitchen design can make daily life easier and also increase resale value down the line. So, what are some key ways a good kitchen design benefits both the current homeowner and future buyers?
Well, that's a great question. For current homeowners, there is a lot of satisfaction in, as you mentioned earlier, having enough storage. And so what we have found is that a lot of clients really experience a lot of stress in their current kitchens. We find that a lot of our clients are storing a lot of their items in their basement and going up and down the stairs constantly. is frustrating, and just not having enough storage space really does create some stress. And so when we redo their kitchens, it's just the best feeling to run into clients, maybe at the grocery store, at the library, and they tell me how much they love their kitchen and how much better it functions for them. So on a daily basis, that's just a great feeling, and we really do achieve that quite a bit. In terms of investment, I talk to a lot of realtors, and one thing that's very clear is that people who are looking to buy a home don't have often don't have the vision of what the home could become. So having an old dated kitchen makes it much harder to sell the home, or if the market's very strong, it just makes it much harder to get top dollar for the home. So what I have found is that updated kitchens make the home far more marketable, easier for the realtors to sell, and easier for home buyers to be able to move into a home and then not have to invest more money in redoing the kitchen. So it's really a benefit to people to remodel their kitchen, even if they think maybe in 5 or 10 years they're going to move. They can enjoy it for 5 or 10 years. And then when they go to sell the home, it's updated and it's much more marketable.
Investing in a kitchen isn't, of course, just about today, but about creating a space that holds its value for years to come. Now, not everyone has a huge open concept kitchen to work with, and some homeowners have smaller spaces and worry that a remodel won't make a big difference. So, what are your best design strategies for making the most of a compact kitchen while still keeping it stylish and functional?
One of my favorite things to use in cabinets is drawers. In back in the day, a lot of base cabinets were made with a top drawer and doors below. And those doors below either had shelves or they had rollouts, which essentially is a hidden drawer. And when you're in a kitchen and it's small, you always have to think about the space you need to open a door and how much space do you have. So it's much simpler to have a cabinet with drawers where the drawer just pulls out straight from the cabinet, as opposed to, like I said, having to open a door or possibly open two doors and then pull out a rollout when you're in a tight space. So we really love drawers for function. We also think drawers really are more of a furniture look and more of a custom look that our homeowners really enjoy. So that's one of our key strategies. Every small kitchen is different. And so aside from drawers, there aren't a lot of other strategies than we can use. Although there is one other, and that is almost every kitchen we've designed has a microwave. Every so often, we do have a homeowner who doesn't use a microwave at all, but 98% of our homeowners do use microwaves, and they want the microwave to be functional. But when you're dealing in a small kitchen, that microwave is sometimes problematic. And so we encourage homeowners to look at some of the new technologies with ovens, where there are speed ovens and multifunction ovens, where you can have an oven and a microwave in one appliance. And therefore, we eliminate one appliance, we gain that space back for storage or other functionality. And that sometimes is a really nice solution.
Yeah, that is a clever way to approach this. And another element that can dramatically impact a kitchen's look and functionality is lighting. It's often overlooked, but the right lighting can completely transform a space. From task lighting to ambient lighting, homeowners have a lot to consider. What role does lighting play in kitchen design, and what should homeowners keep in mind when planning their lighting?
So lighting is obviously very important because you are doing so many functions in your kitchen. You need to be able to see what you're doing. So generally there are 3 levels of lighting in kitchens. And the first is the ambient lighting, which is the general lighting within the space to light the space. And then of course there's task lighting, which we often put lighting under wall cabinets. The lighting today is mostly LED. And the nice thing about LED lighting is that they stay cool to the touch, they don't get hot, and they last for many, many years. I think 50,000 hours is typical. And so really every kitchen we do, we put in lighting under the wall cabinets so that when people are standing at the countertop and working at the countertop is lit. And then, of course, we love decorative lighting when we can build it into a kitchen. Often, when we have an island, we will have decorative light fixtures over the island. And sometimes, if we don't have an island, we might put a decorative light fixture over the kitchen sink or in other places. And I always tell people that if everything in your kitchen looks exactly the same, then your eye has nowhere to focus. It's good within your kitchen to have things that are different that your eye can focus on. And so decorative lighting is one of the things that we use to do that.
Nancy, this has been such an insightful conversation. You shared so many great tips on how to plan a kitchen remodel, balance aesthetics with functionality, choose the right materials, and make the most of the space. I know our listeners will take away a lot of valuable insights from this episode. And for anyone listening and anyone interested in learning more or working with Nancy and Kitchen Design Partners, you can reach out through their website, and we'll be sure to link it in the show notes for easy access. And to our listeners, thank you for tuning in the Kitchen Design Partners podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe so you never miss an update. And until next time, happy remodeling.
Thanks for having me.